Turn it up, it's the pancake and power slam. Turn it up, it's the pancake and power slam. Turn it up, it's the pancake and power slam show. Turn it up, it's the pancake and power slam. Turn it up, it's the pancake and power slam. Turn it up, it's the pancake and power slam show. Turn it up.
What's up, everybody? What is going on here? We are here on episode 600. Wow, where are we at? 692? Are we at 690? Let me put something. Yeah, man, let's go. It's a good week, man. It's a good week. It's a monumental week. We are at 690. Let's find out. I think 692, I think. 692 episodes of the Pancakes and Power Slam. So 692. 692 episodes of the Pancakes and Power Slams. How about that? How about that? How about that? That is amazing. Thank you so much for all your continued support of the show. And just like every single week, we're going to have fun. Let's go. Be sure to share the link to everybody that you know that is probably up. If they're up and they are interested in pro wrestling, and more importantly, psychology, come on, let them know. How will they know if you don't tell them? Oh, I'm in the book. I'm in the book, ladies and gentlemen. I'm in the book. I'm in the book of Romans, ladies and gentlemen, but in a different way. Although that context is much more important than the context that I'm talking about right now. But you get what I'm saying. How would you know? How do I know unless you tell them, right? How do I know? So how about you let them know about the Pancakes and Power Slam show and 692 episodes of this daggone thing. And what a blessing. What a blessing to spend my late night with you as always. And we're going to have some fun talking about the Bill Goldberg interview with Ariel Helwani. And he was very tight-lipped in many ways because he could only share so much. So we're going to play the video, and I'm going to break some moments down. I'm going to talk about some body language stuff. I'm going to go psychology on you, just like I do every single week on this show, psychology classes. And so we're going to use a video presentation, and we're going to dissect this thing from a psychological perspective, bringing in some body language stuff as well. So be sure to share the link. I see the questions coming on here, questions loading up, and we're going to have a great time as we do every single week. Yeah, every single week. Yeah, every single week. Boom, boom, boom. All right, y'all. I'm going to load up this video, and we're going to get into the whole thing. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm going to play snippets that I pulled out of the entire interview. And that's what we're going to do right now, ladies and gentlemen. After that, I'm, of course, going to get your questions. So go ahead and hashtag AskDoc is the way to go. Hashtag AskDoc is the way to go. So I'm gonna test this out when it comes to this. I'm going to try something with this. Okay. Okay. I think we're about to make this real fun. I think there's a really good chance that this is going to be really fun. Really fun. Depiction of this. So we're just trying this out and see how this is going to work. But I think we got it together. Let's see here. This is a part of being live, and this is the way it is. All right. So we are going to bring this up, bring that up, bring that up, do it there, right there. Hold on. Okay. So we're still trying this out. So just give me a sec to figure this out. Hold on. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, we're still trying. Okay. There we go. All right. So I think we got it, man. I think we got this, and then we'll move that there. And then we'll move that. Move that there. That way. We're going to figure this out, y'all. We're going to figure this out together. with this video layout. Boom, boom, and boom. All right. I think we got it. All right. Boom. Okay. I think we got it. I think we got it like that. Boom. All right. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Let me do one more edit on this thing. All right. One more edit on this thing. All right. Yeah. StreamYard, you can't do too much messing around with this. All right. Cool. All right, cool. There we go. There we go. All right. So we're going to start with this part here where he is talking about he is talking about when he found out about his retirement match was going to be at Saturday night's main event. All right, so that is the first order of business about what we're going to talk about. All right, so without further ado, here we go.
A good time.
Okay, so I actually want to go back to the beginning relatively. When we spoke about all this, when you said, did you already know this was happening? Did you know the date? Did you know the location, all that? Or did it materialize afterwards?
No, it was all known for a while. I had
You worked me, Bill. You worked me.
I worked you. For the first time, I was able to at least fool somebody without, I don't know, man. It was around November, actually.
Wow.
When we started talking, actually. A date was thrown out there, and it wasn't really confirmed until after the first of the year, and we made it happen, man. Like I said, it was an honor and a privilege just to be able to get something like that done, man, especially years removed from my last match and accelerated age, and just getting the opportunity to kind of put a stamp on it the way I wanted to. Well, not the way I wanted to, but as in control as I could be. I would be remiss in saying that I didn't garner that opportunity. And with open arms, and I was very appreciative of it.
Okay, so when you were approached about this, was it always Gunther? Was it always Atlanta? Was it always Saturday night's main event?
Yeah, I mean, I can't say that I was too thrilled about part of that, but
Which part were you not thrilled about?
No, well, I mean, the Saturday night main event and live TV in Atlanta. I mean, you always have your dreams of how you're going to do things, and ultimately to have a little bit more control over the time and the space would have been much more preferred. Let's just put it that way. And, but to be given that opportunity on such a special show with the lineage of the show, to be able to go against the world heavyweight champion, to be able to go against Gunther, I mean, hey, it was a honor and a privilege to be able to be given that opportunity, and I had to make the most of it.
In other words, would you have preferred a PLE?
100%.
Because you get more time?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
They cut me off with freaking 20 seconds with the microphone in my hand, for God's sakes.
So I was working my way towards that.
Let me guess. You're thinking about going to therapy. And as a therapist myself, of course I'm going to say.
Getting therapy skips as a therapist.
2 weeks, man. I get 2 weeks before I can really, spill the beans and
2 weeks.
make my feelings kind of known about the entire rundown from the inception of the idea to its delivery. It was a little less than to be desired, but again, I'm not going to complain because not many people get that opportunity. There are a number of variables that were such that, you're put behind the 8 ball, and to be able to go out there and perform, I don't know, 12, 13-minute match, 15-minute match, felt like 115 minutes, but, it was a great opportunity. And Gunther was an unbelievable guy to work with. It was awesome. I had a good time, man. I was laughing in there when he was chopping me. I mean, I actually had fun.
By the way,
There you go. All right, we're going to talk about that part first. All right, so that's when he found out that his retirement match was going to be on Saturday Night's Main Event. So let's go there first. So, he talked there about it being a while. He knows that it's going to be a while. He knew that it's going to be since November. So we're talking what 7 months that he knew. But here's the crazy thing about this, and we'll talk about this in the other clip too, as far as just him wanting to send off, him finding out. You can tell that with his constant type of, and we'll talk about his shoulders and his eyes and his lips on the next clip too, but you could just tell throughout this entire interview, just a lot of body language from a psychological standpoint, a lot of unease, a lot of discomfort, a lot of trying to clutch himself as far as just not saying the wrong things, trying to process in his mind with the gazing eyes, trying to process things to think about, and making sure that he's staying within the legal, parameters of not saying the wrong things within this confines of these couple of weeks that he has left. So we're going to see that here in the next clip too, that I think is really, really interesting. That in this clip, he talks about he talks about him wanting the storyline to be built for a match. So let's roll this clip here. Boom, 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 boom.
hey, so you told me that this was sort of in the works November and then confirmed in January. Why the 3 weeks notice? If you kind of knew, was it kind of stop and start?
I would have loved for them to announce it in January and have a build up to it and do something like that I thought was maybe worthy of my career. But let's just say that they chose to do it with 3 weeks notice, and it is what it is, man. It's part of the package. It's part of the meal that you get dealt, and I would be remiss in thinking that I thought the meal would be different, but it was shame on me for thinking that it would have been different. Don't you love the way that I've been able to navigate my words?
Yeah, no, you're fantastic at it. You're fantastic.
So that one is, you can absolutely tell that he wanted to say so much more right there. And we've got a bunch of other clips that I'm going to talk about here. There's so much more that he wanted to talk about with that. When it comes to, he was leaning in, his shoulders. I had a lot to do, like his hurled shoulders. He's kind of hunched in, leaned in, and oftentimes from a body language standpoint, that shows that someone's going through a difficult situation. They're trying to process something, and it's also a lot of times a form of protection too. So it's oftentimes when people are protecting their neck or protecting their chest, you're hunching your shoulders and you're leaning your shoulders in. So those are like universal and automatic. Oftentimes it deals with when it comes to like body language, you're thinking of just automatic responses oftentimes. And even if you're not necessarily intending to do it, you do those automatic responses as a form of like protection or deception. There's a lot of reasons why people have different types of body language, either happiness, excitement, deception, feigning, lying, protecting, lack of confidence, building confidence, like the boa or the cobra pose. And so like there's a lot of reasons why. You can definitely tell within this particular interview, and I've interviewed before Goldberg before too. He definitely wasn't this all over the place as far as trying to protect himself and his words and things like that. You can tell even right there, his eyes are gazing, and he's oftentimes when it comes to eye gazing in that way, just staring around. You're not glued on a camera, you're not focused. You're gazing. It's oftentimes is dealing with handling a difficult situation, trying to process, thinking about the right thing to say. When someone's gazing their eyes there, as you can tell with Goldberg, right there, you could tell like he's just trying to just figure this out. He even said on this, he even said, "Don't you love the way that my play on words?" Or I'm paraphrasing what he's saying. So he's trying to like build his own self confidence in a sense of being very uncomfortable, and even from a clutched lips perspective or kind of a pinched lips perspective. Like when it comes to like compressed lips, oftentimes we're trying to pacify ourselves when we're trying to get stressed. So it's our way of like relieving tension. And you can tell Goldberg did this very, very, very much in this interview. He was really trying to relieve some tension. You can tell the stress. You can tell the just curled in type of feel, that type of look. And again, I've seen him do interviews. I've seen him I've seen him interview. I've seen him wrestle. I've seen him do other interviews. I've talked to Goldberg before. Very, very nice guy. But you can tell that when he's leaning in, he's just like, oh, like I'm protecting myself. I want to get out of this moment. But at the same time, I know that I have to do this. I'm friends with Ariel. He put over Ariel huge at the end of the show. Ariel's a pro, man. He's a fantastic interviewer. And so Ariel did what he was supposed to pull what he needed to out of Goldberg. But at the same time, Goldberg in his head was like, man, like, you son of a gun. Like you could tell that. And you can tell when it comes to that, when he's trying to protect himself with that type of scrunched in demeanor, with that scrunched in posture. There's some difficult situations. He's protecting his thoughts. He's protecting his mind. He's protecting his environment. As he mentioned in Alpha, he's uneased though. He's looking uneased, and he's looking like, man, this is not a very confident place to be in right now. So you can just tell with all of these body movements of how he feels, even throughout the entire interview. He's just constantly just leaning in, just kind of crunching in within his shoulders. And there was a couple times where he mentioned, like Ariel, I'm not going to play the clip. I'll play a couple of the clips, but there was a time where Ariel mentioned his son Gage. He sat back and his eyes went up. And usually when your eyes go up, startled like that, it's like, oh, like there's typically there's a startled, but more of a pleasured, surprising, kind of like a good feeling, a positive, startling feeling when his eyes went up, and he sat back and his shoulders were more broad when he was talking about his son, because at that point in time, he was in more of a mental state of confidence and poise and excitement. And he was more excited and talking about his son. He looked back and he looked out away from the camera, but he zoomed in more to the camera when he was talking about his son, looking at the camera, engaging more directly versus indirectly when he's answering these questions, trying to find a way out, trying to find the right words to say. So lots of body language going on there when it comes to Goldberg. All right, so next is we're going to talk about. He was asked whether wrestling was officially out of his system after Saturday night's main events here. All right, so let's. Did he mention something on the wrestling? Yeah, he did. He did mention that. I think vaguely. I think vaguely he mentioned that. All right, let's talk about this part here. Is this it for?
Is it officially out of your system now? You know, in combat sports, people retire and then they come back 2 years later, 3 years later, 1 year later, 6 months later. Are you officially done? Will you never wrestle again?
I can't say that. I mean, in principle, yeah, I'm done. But I worked my ass off for 5 months, and I don't think I've dedicated that much of my life towards one goal, like one night. And I don't know. I would be remiss in saying that it did feel as though it was a waste because I only went out there for 14 minutes and that was it. But yeah, man, I mean, I'm 58 years old. My body's kind of torn to shreds. Hopefully I was able to cover a lot of it up. And and I had my retirement match. I had 91 people fly in from all around the world, that were personal guests of mine. I don't know if I want to kickstart that again and say, hey guys, guess what? I didn't retire. I'm going to go one more time. You don't plan stuff like that. In the world of professional wrestling, I guess you're not retired until you're dead. But, in principle, yeah, I'm retired.
Can I ask? All
right, there we go. All right, so before we get into that part, so there's definitely a sense of incompletion when it comes to that. And he mentioned that a couple of times. You retired when you did. Like he kept mentioning that. He said that multiple times. You can absolutely tell. Same thing with the Undertaker match when he got concussed. You can tell that he did not want to end that way. And he even said in this interview, "You're as good as your last match," which oftentimes that's true. I've talked about that when it comes to the recency bias and that particular effect when it comes to you're as good as the perception of you're as good as the last thing that you did, the recency bias. So when it comes to Goldberg and the Undertaker's the same way, and many other wrestlers are the same way. So this is definitely not just a Goldberg thing. Add the Undertaker in there as well, 100%. We saw that with Undertaker plenty of times. The Triple H match at WrestleMania 28. Nope. Okay. It's the Cena. The Roman Reigns match at WrestleMania 33 had a bad hip. Didn't like it. Then there was some the next year he had the gimmick with John Cena that he barely was a part of, and they just threw John Cena and the Undertaker together. That was incomplete. Then he had a match with Goldberg. That didn't work because that was a debacle. Then he had a tag match with Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre and Shane McMahon. And that was a sense of incompletion. And so finally you get the Boneyard match, which was with AJ Styles. And it was, I think it was done extremely well. I think that was a fantastic just choreography and theatric presentation of that and how he rode off at the end. I think that was a really, really good send-off. And if anybody is a good send-off against the Undertaker, is definitely AJ Styles. So finally, there was a sense of peace and fulfillment in Undertaker after multiple times, almost a half a dozen times of doing a Jey Uso when it comes to yeet, running that back. And that's what the Undertaker did with a lot of matches. Goldberg feels the same way. I mean, there was a minute Bray Wyatt, Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns. After the Undertaker debacle, he had a match with Dolph Ziggler at SummerSlam. And if anybody could make someone look good on the way out, similar to AJ Styles, definitely Dolph Ziggler would be the same person would be another person who would be able to do that too. So there was some solace there, but the money was talking. There was still a sense of incompletion as far as like one more retirement match, and came up and even won the title. Like the Lashley thing. There were so many different types of incarnations when it came to Bill Goldberg trying to find that one spot of, okay, now there's peace. And this particular time, not having it on a PLE, having it on network television, having to have a hard close because of NBC, doing 58, and he put Gunther over quite a bit. He did the best that he can at 58 years old, and it's taken 5 months to go on a very, very strict diet. He did a lot, and being the aggressive trainer and the perfectionist that he is in many ways, he wanted that good send off. But you could tell in this interview, he didn't get it. He didn't get it. And there's a sense of incompletion there. And I've mentioned this before in other classes. There's a psychological concept called the Zeigarnik effect. And our minds tend to focus more on something that's incomplete versus something that's complete. When somebody ghosts you, when somebody don't call back, when somebody doesn't text back, when somebody say, I'm not going to talk to you anymore, and doesn't give you a reason why, when someone says we have to talk, all of those things are signs of the Zeigarnik effect. There's a sense of incompletion. Your mind is basically trying to complete the task. There's a void there. Your brain, how it's paradigmed, it works from point A to point B. Let's complete the task and let's discard it. Let's complete it and go. And your brain is like, hold on, I'm not done yet. There's something here that's not here yet. We've got this, even if we have this much, if we have this much left, okay, there's a sense of disclosure. Like it's not closed yet. In order for me to fully process my career, my life, the way that I feel right now, the fact that I'm asked by my coworker or manager to meet me in the office tomorrow morning. All of those things is a sense of incompletion. And if you throw in the negativity bias with it as well, I've talked about that before. People tend to think negatively toward things initially. When you throw those things together, it's so uncomfortable. It's so uncomfortable. I'm telling you, like, I'm sure that every single person on watching this right now have felt that in some way, discomfort in some way. Can we talk? I got something to say. I want to talk to you for a second. And just to let you know, when people in couples, do your best not to do that. Like give a reason, give the reason why you're talking, or give a topic that you want to talk about, or give bullet points, because that's close to closure in someone's mind that they can get in the moment. Give it to them as much as you can give it to them. If you're a boss, hey, I want to talk about your performance. It's positive. It's good things. So, no need to worry, because when you're having that type of extra sense of validation, or extra sense of explanation, and it's very disarming. And so you're giving someone the opportunity to say, oh, okay, cool. That's good to know. And so, but when it comes to Goldberg and this Zeigarnik effect, you can tell that Goldberg is absolutely feeling incomplete with this match. Now, the speech absolutely, didn't help too, because he got cut off after 20-some seconds. So there was a sense of incompletion there, especially with that. He mentioned that many, many times, and even took several digs at WWE about that. And so the next clip is going to be a bit lengthier, but I definitely want to get into this really, really good because this clip is going to be about a little under 4 minutes. So we're going to watch the whole thing. And he's going to talk about why he felt slighted, and he wished that his send-off had gone differently. So he's very, very honest as much as he can within the confines of what he can't say. And he's gonna mention some names too, as far as how he felt about it. So let's get right into it.
And perhaps shoot straight with you, Bill. It feels like you're battling like mixed emotions here about everything. That it's something that you're not quite sure how to feel about in the immediate aftermath. Is that accurate?
Let's just say I'm pissed off at the way I went out. I mean, because I put so much into it, and I don't feel as though the effort was reciprocated to put a stamp on, what I accomplished. I'm not going to say that I'm not ecstatic about the opportunity that I got, but I was a WCW guy, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it could have been done a little bit differently. That's all. And I'm happy with my performance. I'm happy with, the setting, but could it have been better? Absolutely. It can always be better.
And I know you mentioned this 2-week thing, but I'd be remiss if I don't ask what specifically.
Hold on. Did you see that little nuance right there? Did you see that little nuance? He's rocking. He's looking down, and then at the end, he's like, man. It's like that's probably what you wanted to hear, but that's not really what I felt.
It can always be better.
And I know you mentioned this 2-week thing, but I'd be remiss if I don't ask what specifically could have been done
differently. That's all. And I'm happy with my performance. I'm happy with, the setting, but could it have been better? Absolutely. It can always be better.
And I know you mentioned this 2-week thing, but I'd be remiss if I don't ask what specifically could have been done differently. Could you tell us that?
Well, there's about 100 things. I mean, I did 3 interviews beforehand, Ariel. I did 3, right? In 6 months. It's just
to gather himself.
They cut me off 30 seconds into my speech, bro. I mean, you don't do that, but it's all good. It's all good.
Do you think that was their call or the network's call?
I think it doesn't matter because it's live television and you can plan for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Probably one of the biggest questions that we get from our customers was, well, how do you really go about buying gold?
Come on, hurry up and get up out of here. Here we go.
So, and I know it is what it is, and the match might have gone long, and this and that, and whatever it is. But I just think that it could have been a little classier prepared than it was, and I'll just say, and that's a mild understatement. Yeah, man, come on. Come on, man.
By the way, did they know that you were going to speak afterwards?
He's struggling not to share his thoughts. You can tell he's leaning in. He is absolutely tense right now, man. Tense. He is absolutely tense right now, and you can tell that it's just look at his lips. I talked about the lips, the lip compression. And you could tell with his lips compressed, with the shoulders hunched, leaning in. A lot of times, when someone's leaning in from a positive standpoint, they're actually engaged in the conversation. That's often the time. It's often a positive sign of body language. But when someone's leaning in, rocking, and just all over the place, like he's showing so many different body parts of body language right now. It is an absolute beautiful case study of nonverbal communication right now, because he is saying a whole lot without saying nothing. He's saying a whole lot, man. And I think at the end of the day, Goldberg told us a lot of how he felt without saying none about how he truly felt in this particular video clip. He says a lot here, man, and double speak galore, but you can tell that there's just an insane amount of unease when it comes to what Goldberg is saying in this particular video right here. So we're going to continue. There's still some more here that I want to dissect.
That part of the plan?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay.
But I never heard I was going to speak for like 28 seconds.
Right.
But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. I got the opportunity to speak for 28 seconds.
How did you react when you went backstage and realized that it got cut off? Because I'm sure in the moment you think that this is airing across the world, right?
I don't care. You know, I don't. It's not worth me. It's not worth me. I'm not going to snivel over it by any means. I got an opportunity to have it for 28 seconds. Not many people get that, but it just, you know, everything throughout the years have built up to something like the ultimate rib. I guess that was the ultimate rib.
You
right?
think that was intentional? You think that was done on purpose?
I don't know. I'm not saying it was done on purpose by any stretch of the imagination. I'm saying that it wasn't prepared for on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. So I mean, they wouldn't do that to Taker, right? I don't think they wouldn't. They're not going to do that to Cena. Cena's going around the world doing his retirement thing. You know, mine was just the World Heavyweight Championship match. And to be honest with you, I mean, and I'm going to catch hell for. I don't care. It was a World Heavyweight. Dude, I had World Heavyweight matches all the time. That doesn't do anything for me. I mean, it does, but. You know, make it different than just an angle.
We got a little Freudian slip there. Yeah, I mean, he's saying that doesn't do anything for me. Well, it does. Like, there's so much there without him having to say nothing.
At least at the end, do something, say something. I don't know.
You can tell, man. There's so much there. Look at him. Look at the hunched in. Look at the tension that he's showing right now with this body language, man. One shoulder up, rising shoulder. There's a sense of doubt and discomfort there. It's hunched in. There's unease. There's discomfort. He's just looking away. Like, man, he is absolutely, like, his mind is going in a way that his mouth is not. And thankfully he's rational enough to try his best to keep his composure. But man, he is not having it. He's not having it. And something else that's interesting about this too that I noticed is that basically, I find it really interesting that he knew about this. Him and Gunther, he knew about that he was going to have a match at Saturday Night's Main Event since November. So that was 7 months, 8 months, and so 8 months from the time Gunther. But the crazy thing is, when I was listening to this, it made me think, okay, so how was Jey Uso integrated in all of this at the end? Was Jey Uso the entire time just simply fodder, just simply a placeholder in a Goldberg Gunther match? That's what it seems like. So either Gunther would have just won at WrestleMania and just kept the title throughout, through Saturday Night's Main Event, through the whole springtime. Through the whole springtime and into the summer, leading into Saturday Night's Main Event, or they saw the Money in the merch with Jay. They saw the Yeet. They capitalized on the yeet, and at the end of all of this, they knew that Jey versus Goldberg wouldn't have been a thing, and Gunther and Goldberg seemed like that was going to be the plan since last year. And so, unfortunately, Jey, basically, he was hit with just a twist of fate, pun intended, from jump. Yes, he had a world title reign, but at the same time, yeah, you're a transitional champ, buddy, because don't think that you're going to have this title till SummerSlam, or don't think you're going to have a long reign. Your reign's going to be quite short. It's going to be however long it was, a couple months of that. It was less than that, wasn't it? He won at WrestleMania, and he lost a few weeks before. Well, he lost on an episode of Raw, didn't he? So yeah, he had the title for 5 weeks, 6 weeks. So like, yeah, and when you can tell that someone has a world title change on a episode of Raw, you know something's up with that. You know something's up with that. There is very, very rarely world title changes on episodes of Raw. So it definitely seems like there was a sense of, yeah, let's get this in real quick. Yes, it's an episode of Raw, but yeah, it resets us to build us back for Goldberg versus Gunther. So, man, like, yes, Jey got a world title reign, but in the grander scheme of things, Jey was just a placeholder that they can sell Yeet merchandise and give him the title to give him like a crowning moment, which I'm sure as a competitor, he's happy about. It's like, okay, even if I have the title for 5 weeks, you can't take away the fact that you can say that I'm a former world champion. But what I see in this is that he was not a part of the plan at all. Not a part of the plan at all. So I find that quite interesting, man. And this is the reason why Goldberg is pretty upset the fact that there was no storyline to get in between this. And there's so many ways that we can figure this out, or just kind of theorize, or just kind of think tank or examine this thing. It makes me wonder, like, okay, Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble in January, and Goldberg knew it was going to be him and Gunther in January. He wanted it to be a storyline in January to develop into a Saturday Night's Main Event, but it definitely seems like his idea got the kibosh because they saw that Jey was hot at the time. Jey won the Royal Rumble. Jey won the title at WrestleMania. That was just kind of like a insert into the grander scheme of Goldberg versus Gunther. And so I can see why Goldberg can be upset with that. I think, I definitely think making Jey the champ at that time, it made sense as far as just he was red hot. Even if we have to call an audible for a second, I can understand that. But I can also understand Goldberg's frustration of, okay, cool, no shade, but let's develop this thing. Let's stretch this thing out to make it mean something, especially if this is my last match. So I can understand Goldberg. I can understand Goldberg's frustration there, man. All right, let's see here. We have one. Oh, we got a few more short clips. All right, so he mentioned here about his speech getting cut off again. So this repetition, you got to pay attention to that repetition. The very fact that he's continuing to repeat stuff, he really wants to make a strong emphasis. You usually strongly emphasize things that you repeat. You really, really want to put an emphasis on it. And so you can tell that he's doing that with him, the fact that he discussed getting his speech cut off yet again. So let's talk about that here. All right.
Everybody that was there was of the same character, and we're all.
Now he's talking about he had a party. They put something together for him with a bunch of people. He said he had 90 people that flew from all across the country, and they had like a room where they put them all in at the end. That he was putting the people over that were there, that basically celebrated him at the end of his match. But he was sure to throw something else in. What's this something else that he threw in there? Let's find out.
Alphas in our own respect, and we lead by example. And there needs to be more people like that, and needs to be more people like that that don't pound their chest and take pictures of themselves and put it online just to show people that that's who they are. So, I got 27 seconds to make that statement, because I knew that they were going to cut me off at some point, because they had mentioned that they were going to run it online. So why not get a lot of views online when you know that you cut him off on live television? I mean,
Here we go again. There we go again, ladies and gentlemen. So he's trying his best to not say what he feels, but still express himself in the way that Goldberg expresses himself. So that is an absolute Goldberg-esque thing to do. I'm mad, and I'm mad, but I just can't say how I feel right now to the extent. And so then I'll look away. Because I'm like, let me exit this mentally real quick. Again, let me have a mental exit. Let me have a mental escape. And this is what I'll do in this moment. And that you can tell again with his body language, man, he's down, he's away, and he's just not at ease when he's given his view on these topics, man. You can just absolutely tell it's just not working out for him, man. It's a no-go for him. All right. This particular clip is would he plan to be in attendance at SummerSlam? That was a short clip. He said no. And then here's my final clip. And we'll talk about some psychology behind this particular clip again here. I'm going to throw a Freudian term at you for you to take some notes about. So this one is his current relationship, his relationship with Triple H. So he was asked, did him and Triple H talk, and how did it go, and what was it about? And let's get into it.
Behind me. We speak infrequently, but we have a good relationship, I believe. It was tumultuous throughout times of our careers, to say it mildly, but it's where it's at, man. It's Triple H.
Got you.
There's a nonverbals. Those are nonverbals, ladies and gentlemen. That's all you need to see. You see that? See those lips compressed right there, man. Right there. Boom. And there's some wrinkles that come with that too, but you can even tell with the smile that there's a sense of, yes, he's smiling at the connection with Ariel, but there's so much in there with those compressed lips too. that he just wants to tell, that he wants to say, man. So there's so much that was in this particular there was so much that was in this particular clip that was just incredible to me. And yes, so go and check the whole thing out. But yeah, it was amazing. I was like, man, I really have to break this down psychologically when it comes to like body language. So when it comes to that particular mentality, or that compressed lips with that point at the end and saying gotcha, that has to do with like latent processing or hidden or kind of unconscious. Freud would even say like it's a part of the unconscious that someone is either developing. They're either developing their thought, or the thought is, or they're discovering a thought, or is unconscious. It's how someone really feels, but it's not expressed explicitly yet. So it's kind of hidden and disguised oftentimes when it comes to like latent thinking or latent processing. And so it's there, but at the same time, it's just not expressed explicitly. So you saw so much latent thinking and latent processing when it came to Goldberg, and this entire interview, particularly that last bit there where he's clenching his lips, he's pointing, he's saying, "Oh, I want to say a lot, but I can't say a lot." So there's so much we don't know the complete nuanced ins and outs of this whole process. We basically got Goldberg's take in a incredibly double speak type of way, but there was a lot to break down with the very fact that he was just so tight-lipped and so incredibly and just discreet about the way that he felt. It definitely wasn't explicit whatsoever. And yeah, we'll see when it comes to this 2-week thing or whenever he wants to do a tell-all, but it definitely seems like he wants to get this out of him and do a tell-all, because again, you want to talk about the Zeigarnik effect. If he's replacing feeling like there's a closure to it, there's a part of like, hey, let me just do a tell-off. I can't have another match. I'm just going to do a tell-all. And that could be the case, man. But it definitely doesn't seem like Goldberg really cares about burning bridges with the WWE with the way that this went down. Now, there's always the opportunity for Goldberg to come back. You always say you retire when you're dead. He doesn't plan on coming back when he talks about that. But, is it worth burning the bridge? Typically not. But when you feel like you have been used, that becomes a big issue. I mean, there's so many things. There's so many factors that can really come into this. Like, was Goldberg used, as the name to opposite AEW? There's some people talking about that. So, that would be horrible too if Goldberg was used as the name, the marquee name to bring people over to WWE. I'm not saying this is true. Neither was I told this was true. So this is definitely no scoop or anything. But I have seen some theories thrown out there from the socials. Could it be the case? Could it be the case? You could tell that there was some disgust. There was an incredible amount of disappointment within his body language. And there was also a lot of, I really want to say a lot more than what I'm saying right now. And so that interview was filled with you telling how uncomfortable he is and how much discomfort he was showing as far as answering the questions. Now, it wasn't to Ariel. You know, like I said, he highly respects Ariel and he put him over quite a bit. And you could tell he's not that jittery usually. Like I said before, I've talked to Goldberg before on the phone. I've interviewed him before. Very easy to talk to. Very nice guy from my interaction with him. It was a cool interview. It wasn't a lot of ums and ahs, and it wasn't a lot of trying to dodge questions when I interviewed him, and it's definitely, you can tell because he's talked to Ariel before. This isn't his first interview with Ariel before, and you can definitely tell a huge sense of protection hunching in those shoulders of what can I say? What can I say? What am I going to save? So there was so much in that interview, man, that was definitely worth talking about. So if you want more Psychology Professor Reacts videos, shoot them my way. Send them to the Pancakes and Power Slams Facebook page, or actually you can DM me on Twitter at Chris Prolific. Shoot me a video, and we'll start doing this more because I really enjoy still breaking down psychology and breaking down reaction videos too. So this is really, really fun. I always enjoy doing that. I enjoy doing that with the Rock interview too. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into these questions. It is now time for the question cam. Question cam. All right. What are we? Let's pull up these questions. Questions. All right, Axe Doc is the way to go. I'll pull up it on the screen. Let me hurry up and do it, and if y'all want y'all's questions answered for real, hop on the Patreon, and you actually get to be on the screen with me, so it's a lot of fun. Let's go. Okay, we talked about that. Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that, Ricky, man. It sucks. Let's see here. Now that Goldberg is retired from WWE, at least. And with Cena leaving in December, who can WWE pull from the Legends well? In the future, everyone is retired or no longer here. I mean, I've said this many, many times, man. At this point, there should have been a generation after Goldberg and before the current one that you can pull from the Legends well. If you have to, you shouldn't have to, but if you had to pull from the Legends well, I mean, there should have been like a 2010 era that you can pull from the well, but you don't have Legends to pull from the well from 2010. Like, you have R-Truth that was there. You're not pulling from the Legends well. Although I always say R-Truth is the man, and he's for him to keep his job as long as he did, it takes a special kind of anomaly, special kind of cachet to be able to do that, and for the fans to basically come back and bring his job back, even if it was a work, which I think it was a stupid idea if it was a work, man, because it hasn't really paid off at all. It's just been horrible. That's another thing to be studied as far as just the flop of We Want Truth, and then the IWC just basically abandoning that movement. I mean, like, yeah, he's back now. Next, like that's another thing to be studied that we should talk about on a different. Again, DM me on Twitter a clip or a video. Just be sure that it's not WWE because that'll automatically get flagged. But yeah, I'll definitely do from an educational purpose. I'll break it down psychologically. So, yeah, for sure. All right. Yeah, I don't like I said, the R-Truth, the Miz is in the 2010s Legends. Well, he's definitely still there and not going to be pulled from a Legends perspective. Ziggler, he's not there anymore. I mean, like that 2010s, early 2010s. Who was there? Who was there? Jericho's not there anymore. Kevin Owens is there, but I mean, he's definitely not a legend when it comes to how they've booked him. Orton's still there, but he wasn't a part of that class. He's a part of the O2 class. So you're not really, you didn't develop between like in the middle of 2002 and 2020 to 2025, that 2010 to 14 class. There, I mean, there's nothing there. I mean, 2010 to 15, there's nothing there to really pull from a legend standpoint that you can really put someone over. You got to pull someone to put Gunther over from 1997. So I mean, like that's a huge problem. All right. Shorts have been getting a lot of views. That's good. What's up, Rollin? I think the Goldberg should have just saved his retirement speech for his Hall of Fame induction ceremony. He's already in the Hall of Fame. I was actually there when he was in the Hall of Fame, when he was inducted in the Hall of Fame. So yeah, he had a pretty lengthy retirement speech too. Or if you're saying that he should have retired at the Hall of Fame, yeah, I mean that makes sense too. But again, man, like you said, if you're not retired until you're dead, if there's any type of like slight dissatisfaction of the way that you ended, even if you're putting someone over, if there's dissatisfaction to that, it's Zygarnik effect, man. It's going to give someone that itch to say, okay, I'll do the Saudi show. I mean, we've seen that. Did I see Undertaker's tweet about Trick Williams saying he's going to confront him on next NXT next week over some angle? They don't NXT tonight, and do you see it leading to anything? I doubt it. I mean, what is it going to lead to? It's not going to lead to the Undertaker and Trick Williams having a match. If anything, it could be Undertaker's Legends LFG guy. You know, I mean that could be a thing. Simon Victory, sure. Predict. He's already in the Hall of Fame. Paul Heyman inducted him in the Hall of Fame. This was. When was this? This was. I don't remember. I went to I did media for 3 straight WrestleManias. I did it for 33, 34, and 35. I went to the Hall of Fame in 33 and 34. Orlando was 33 and New Orleans was 34. I don't remember which one Goldberg headlined. I don't know. It was either 33 or 34. One of them. I don't even remember who headlined the other one. Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, it was one of them. Goldberg headlined one of them. That's what that I do know. And it was long. It was very, very long. I see Bret Hart's comments what Goldberg said today. I think Bret needs to let go of what happened. It was an accident. Holding a grudge all these years can be good. I mean, it can't be good for sure. For sure. Elvis, July 2nd, my 7-year-old cousin passed away unexpectedly. She looked so peaceful at her service. Oh my gosh. What a sobering thing. That sucks for that to happen. Sorry to hear that, man, for sure. Yikes. I think WWE would build up Gunther first versus Roman for the title. That could be the case. That could be the case. All right. So all these multiple ones, you need to save it for the after party. So Danimal, Happy Tuesday. I'm glad Goldberg said something about the overuse of the spear. I really wish wrestlers would stop overusing that move. Less is more. I agree with that 100%. I agree. My good friend Luke's is in the building. Rollin, this Goldberg interview is interesting. Analyzes body language is entertaining. It's fun. I love doing stuff like that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, indeed. He's trying to mask his feelings, his true thoughts. Yep. What's up, my man? I kind of feel like Goldberg should accept what the outcome was because coming into that match, he said he was hurt. He got hurt training. Yeah, he was hurt. But again, it's not that easy, man. It's not that easy when the way people think, it's not that easy. It's like, man, I know I should have broke up with her, but she broke up with me first, and now I'm feeling some type of way. I knew I should have quit that job, but they fired me instead, or they not even fired me. They released me because of downsizing instead. And so now I'm feeling some type of way. That's how people think, man. That's how the Zygarnik effect works. That's how it works, man. That's how it works. Bang his head on the indeed. No, I don't think he won a 20-minute match. I just think his big thing is he just wanted to have a proper send-off, man. He didn't want his daggone speech to be cut off, which I understand that. They should have done that, man. I mean, that should have been something that production should have called the audible in doing. Even if the Seth Rollins thing threw stuff off, even if that was the case, even if the Rollins injury threw stuff off, still, that should not affect Goldberg's speech. They should call an audible and say, hey, man, all right, so let's go ahead and wrap this match up. It was a 14-plus minute match. You could have had the same exact thing. You could have the same exact point across if the match was shaved 6 minutes, 7 minutes. The match didn't have to be 14 minutes because, one, that's not Goldberg's strong suit. And it's okay if it's not a strong suit, but it's not a strong suit. Having a 14-minute match, Ariel even threw out a stat that was his longest match in 22 years. And it was a triple threat match that he was a part of in his last match that was that long. So it wasn't even a singles match. I'm interested in knowing like the stat of when was his last singles match that went 14 minutes long. So his last triple threat match was 22 years ago. So that's just not his strong suit. And again, that's okay. What brought him to the dance was short matches, stick of dynamite, short fuse, just boom, boom, pow type of real quick Batman fight type of matches. Like that is it. And that's what brought him to the dance. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You ain't got to be wrestling long matches. That's not who you are. And even if the match was cut from, even if it was scheduled for 14, you could have gotten the same effect and probably even better if it was cut in half. And guess what? You could have had that time to add to Goldberg's speech. If it was a 7-minute match between him and Gunther, it would have been more impactful, more memorable, less dead spots, and Goldberg would have had time to talk. You could have called an audible there, man. Production-wise, you could have called an audible. Great comments. I don't see any more Axe Doc as far as newbies. Zuber's in the building. What's up, my man? Wish I asked this on Lazy and Raw last night, but do you think today's wrestling have a timing issue? AEW being too long with all in, and WWE not knowing how to end Saturday Night's main event with Goldberg. Yeah, you know, I think they don't care, man. Like they know that their audience is bloodthirsty, Pavlovian wrestling audience that's there. So essentially, I've said this before many times. A weekly show or a PLE is from a spectator standpoint outside of what's in the ring. We're basically seeing just like a big frat party, and you have performers at a frat party. And I don't care about people who are outside of the frat house. The frat house is frat housing, and if you got an opportunity to take a peek in, you know, so be it. But as far as this frat house is concerned, we're going to party like it's our last day. And then you keep partying like it's your last day, and you keep partying like it's your last day. And then you have to continue to make the party not plateau. So what do? You have bigger spots. You have longer parties. You have guest that comes in that perform that does crazier stunts. You just continue to raise the bar. You continue to raise the bar, man. Because as far as the frat house is concerned, oh yeah, we living it up over here. And everybody's like, oh, what? Like, but that's what happens. That's what the spectators outside of the arena were looking at just a weekly frat party. And we're like, okay, I can see how that can be fun, but I'm not really interested in that. It's not really fun. But the frat, the frat IWC and live audience, hey, let's get some shots. Yeah. Roman Reigns. Yeah. That's basically what we see every week. Luke, how would you have booked Goldberg's final storyline and match? Oof. Okay, so I definitely think it should have been an PLE for sure. Absolutely an PLE for sure. Even if it's a minor PLE. Especially if it's a minor PLE, because if a minor PLE is in Atlanta, which definitely could have been, you would have had more ticket sales, and you would have had even more sponsors potentially, definitely more pub. If a minor pay-per-view was in, or minor PLE was in Atlanta. And so you could have been done that, man. It didn't have to be this year. It didn't have to rush it. It could have been next year. You could have definitely had a PLE in Atlanta, and it could have been surrounded by Goldberg's final match. And here's the thing. If you book it as Goldberg's final match and you give it some, your avatar is hilarious, by the way. I love that. That's cool. If you book it as Goldberg's final match, guess what? Because of how our brain thinks, we give that, okay, wait a minute. It's really, really, really predictable that it's Goldberg's final match. And he's going for the title. So wait a minute. Maybe there's some, like, my mind is playing tricks on me. We're booking this as a final match, but it's for the title. And like, we're really booking this as Goldberg's final match. But what happens if he does win the title, though? And so what you do is you play to that. And if it's a Gunther, that's fine. One, you make Gunther look like an absolute monster going into Goldberg. Period. End of story, period. You could have easily had a show in Colorado where Gage Goldberg is there, and basically Gunther's cutting a promo about no one can stop him. Gage Goldberg is out there by himself at Colorado. I think that's where he goes. And Gunther's looking at the audience, and he looks at Gage. He brings Gage in. He chokes him out. Goldberg's not there. Now this absolutely fumes Goldberg. And you have Gunther cut a promo the next week. Goldberg comes out, spears the snot out of him, and the fans go berserk. And then he pummels him, jackhammers him 2 or 3 times. And then that gives Adam Pearce an opportunity to say, hey, you're suspended. You're suspended. Goldberg, you weren't invited here. Don't ever come here again. Don't ever come here again. You're not welcome here. And then I can give Gage an opportunity to train and have a match, and have a match with someone to be able to come back and say, hey, if Gage beats such and such, if that's the reason why someone like a Kaiser would have been good enough, or you can even throw that in there, like Gage, no, you're not going to go against me, but you're going to go against an old ally of mine, Ludwig Kaiser. Gage Goldberg, Ludwig Kaiser. If Gage beats Ludwig, then that reinstates Goldberg to have an opportunity against Gunther. Boom, there you go. Gage gave an opportunity for his dad to come back, and now you have Goldberg versus Gunther, and you're booking it as Goldberg's last match. And that gives us a little bit of uncertainty of, is it really Goldberg's last match? Is he really going to win the title? And so that would be a lot more, and that was just off the top of the head. That would be a lot more intense, and we'll have more feeling than just a simple coming out for a promo, which they did, and which they do all the time, which is absolutely horrible. We got Robert in the building. I'm back now and had to work last 4 Tuesdays overnight. Hope you had a good weekend. Thank you, man. Thank you for coming. Absolutely, as always, man. Absolutely. All right, y'all. We're going to head over to the after party, y'all, for sure. Man, this was absolutely fun. Thank you so much for you amazing people continuing to be a part of the show and interactive. The best chat in the business. And go ahead and support your boy, man. Go over to patreon.com/pancakes and power slams and become a patron, man. It's less than $1 a week, y'all, man. I mean, like the psychology classes that I give y'all, and man, less than $1 a week to support your boy. Come on. You're very wealthy and intelligent people on this live stream, and support your boy for the effort that I put in every single week. Thank you very, very much. Good storyline. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. All right, y'all. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. I absolutely, amen. Support Doc for sure. I absolutely would appreciate your love. These algorithms push up when you comment on the video. All right, so definitely on the live screen. This was great. Awesome comments as always, but comment underneath the video because that pushes up my algorithms. All right, and it gives this class and this show to people who probably never or don't even know who I am. I would say there's not many people who don't know who I am because of all the goings on that's happened in the past 6, 7, 8 months, as far as people telling me this and that's accurate, and people telling me that and that's not, and that's all fun and games, man. But hey, man, pro wrestling is a huge, vast audience, and people may not know that pancakes and power slams exist, and that's okay. But guess what? we're in this together and we're banding together to let the people know how cool and awesome and amazing this show is every single week because of the PNP Nation and my love for doing this. All right, cool, sounds good. All right, we're going over to patreon.com/pancakes and power slams. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. God bless you all. Really, really appreciate it as always. Until next week, enjoy your week of wrestling. God bless. And always remember, I do it for you. Have a good night, everybody. Solo.